Do you think that, how can I ask this question? Pertaining to what you just said, do you think maybe because there's a standard now that people feel like they have to reach that kind of standard visually and lyrically, I mean, to gain some kind of attention from certain fans?
Yeah, because music is influential and that's what's winning right now. So if you're a hungry dude and you listening to the radio or you seeing dudes that's getting signed and getting attention, and you hear the kind of music that's gaining that attention, you're like, damn, yo, I need to get a joint with a club beat in it, with the strip club or hard South joint. So now you put yourself in the category that 10 other people probably doing at the same time, and you're making a record that might not even be you and your personality or your style, but you think that's what's winning right now. So you do that to get the attention of a label or A&R or anybody, and you go that route. And you might stand out, you might not. But the fact that you took that attempt, you might kill your career before you even started, because you probably was just selling out to get a deal, and that might not even be, the person you are. And it killed me. Like the other day, I saw a video with the Fredro nigga from Onyx. He had put a video out, and Onyx, how their sound was back in the 90s, hard hip hop. And he had like the South song on World Star Hip Hop. And it had like this, he was talking about a car or some shit. Like his car does 120 miles per hour or some craziness. It had a self tempo, his flow was like a Rick Ross type chant verse, and it was just sad to see, because he's basically an example of what's wrong with the game right now.
And he's an old head.
Exactly, and you would think that he would just stick to what the people loved him for,
or create something original.
Yeah, but he tried to adapt to what's hot, and the fans ain't stupid. So I didn't give that video 10 seconds. I heard what he was saying, and I just said, all right.
I was driving today and I heard the song with Meek Mills and Drake.
The Amen joint?
Yeah, I think the hook is horrible for what it's saying, but when I listen to Drake's verse, I'm like, man, this is who he really is. You know what I mean? This is like his strong. That particular beat is his strong suit, and he really came up on that beat.
The thing that's crazy, I hear all the criticism Drake get, but like lyrically, like he's nice.
Yeah, he got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Songwriting wise, he got it. Period.
I mean, just lyrically. I don't even know about the songwriting, but like the word pattern and the flow and all that, he can spit if he wanted to spit. I just think that he's so young, and his lifestyle, the way he came up, I don't think he ever even dealt with anything that a nigga can relate to. So all he kind of talks about is girls. But he was on that show, the Disney show, when he was young. So I don't really think he has much to talk about that would capture somebody feel they could relate to. So it comes off like he's soft or he's corny. At the end of the day, the man can spit, but I just think he's being true to himself. And I'm not mad for him that he talks about women in every record. If that's what he's going through, that's what he's going through. And that's what's winning for him. And I respect it. If he ain't gangster or if he ain't struggled in his life, you can't talk about it. Don't knock him for that. Leave that shit to somebody else that went through that.
So where do you see the future of music going? Do you think it's going to come back to a point where it's about the individual putting his mark, his personality out there musically, or is it going to be the same old, same old?
I mean, right now I think what's dominating radio is, singles. You're not really hearing too many albums that as a collective are good. You're hearing just a whole bunch of singles that carry songs, but at the end of the day, when that album drop, they don't sell records. And I just think that there's a place for everybody. There's people that make singles, and that's all they're good for, like the Waka Flockas, and there's people that you want to hear albums from that might not have good singles, like a Nas. At the end of the day, I think that if everybody sticks to their strong point and their strength, it's no problem. But it's just a problem when you try to do something that's not you, and you try to make a song that's not you're not known for making, or you try to step into an area that you're not known for, like somebody that might say they could spit and they can't spit. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you just stick to what you do, and at the end of the day, if you're good at what you do, you're gonna stand out. And a lot of people complain like hip hop is dead or hip hop ain't popping right now, but a lot of the dudes that say hip hop, they do hip hop music, they not nice. You know what I mean? If you want to wave that flag and say I represent hip hop, that's cool, but that don't mean because you use dark beats or simple beats or you talk about the earth or whatever make you hip hop. At the end of the day, lyrically, if you can't hold your own, niggas ain't gonna check for you, regardless of what kind of beat you use. And a lot of niggas ain't nice right now. And the only group I could think of that lyrically hold it down is Slaughterhouse. You know, a lot of artists fell off. Nas fell off. You know, all the dudes, prodigies fell off. Like, nobody's really checking for them right now. Because at some point or another, the effort that they put in, it ain't the same like it used to be. And that's not because of the Rick Rosses and you know, those dudes over there making their music. Like I said earlier, it's like the food industry. Like, they do fast food. Let them do fast food. We're not competing with that. You know, we doing a dining, sitting down and eat with the waiter. You know what I mean? Red Lobster's not worried about McDonald's. And I feel like that's how we need to move in this industry. You know, because what they doing over there is making hot records for the clubs and making singles, but when their album drop, the numbers don't be nothing. Because they don't know how to make an album. They can't give anything with any substance. When someone that's lyrical should be able to paint a picture and make a conceptual album that somebody would want to purchase. So I don't think we need to feel like we're competing with them. You know, because the radio going to play what they got to play. You know, it's politics involved with that. So it's not really their fault or their preference. But I just feel like, you know, artists get discouraged when, you know, they make a music that's not being respected. So they kind of adapt. And at the end of the day, you got to just stick to what you do. Just like a brand. At the end of the day, you don't see McDonald's trying to sell shrimp and lasagna. They know they niche. They know they got burgers and fries on Smash, and they're gonna push that shit to the death. You don't see Red Lobster trying to serve burgers and fries and all that shit. That's not what they do.
So if there's anybody that's watching this, that's feeling you, and they want to see some of your work, is there any way they can find your work?
I'm not ready to put out material right now, because I just want to make sure that the first impression is the best impression. But I got bars for you if you want to hear something.
Go ahead.
I said, why I can't get a job I could keep? Why if a nigga did his time, they keep his arm on the leash? Why is this industry designed to keep me barred from the street? Why if I didn't commit a crime, I gotta dodge the police? Come on. Why they always want your piss in the cup? Why they want you to violate and throw your wrists in them cuffs? Tell me why the penitentiary work you for under a dime? Why they be giving niggas curfews to come in at 9? Why you only get an hour for rec? Why every captain on his tour try to scold you with some cowardly threat? Why they ban cigarettes from the prisons? Why you can't get arrested for snitching? I gotta question the system. Why motherfuckers be calling it child like we some monkeys in a cage? And why they taping every call that you dial? Why I can't get a dirty magazine through the mail? Why the judge can't set it at a reasonable bail? Why I can't get a conjugal visit? Why in jail every convict's a digit? Why in jail every sergeant's a bigot? Why I gotta drop down on my drawers, hold my dick, squat down and then cough? Tell me why I'm a product of the recession. That's why I plan to vote for Obama in the election, to guide us in a direction that promises some progression and considers my views regardless of my profession. See, my selection for Barack or McCain was me considering the option to change. That's the reason it's worth it. We need to get a leader with purpose, willing to make changes we can see on the surface. I'm not one that's going to stand here and preach and talk about the next commander-in-chief, because I'm a man of the streets. But the world is much bigger than the block, so if I'm looking for change, I'm going to get it with Barack. We can't deny the fact that the Republican Party just wants a wider gap, divided and wider black. But in light of that, was just willing to end the war, or just make the right decision on November 4th to heal the wounded and feed the starving, in hopes that we could bring forth the dreams of Martin, the courage of Rosa, the influence of Tubman, and still showing we can make music with substance. See, I ain't into politics, but I can neither ignore it or acknowledge it. So it's time we get registered to vote, because we fought for the right to. I'm registered to vote because I'm fortunate, like you.
Oh, so that's your motivational rap for people to go out and vote?
It's just what's on my mind at the time. I chose to really just spit that because I want the audience to know that I'm just not somebody that's gonna just talk about my story. I talk about what's around me, and I'm not afraid to do a record that might come off like, oh, he's a backpacker, or he's just somebody that, you know, wants to talk positive all the time. Nah, it's just real shit. And at the end of the day, in that line, I said, and you know, I'm a street nigga. I ain't gonna talk about the commander-in-chief. I let it be known, but at the same time, you know, when Barack was up for office, that was my first time registering to vote, out of respect for my grandmother and everybody that came before me and everything that we fought for. So it ain't have nothing to do with me trying to preach. It's just, at the end of the day, I know what my ancestors had to do to get here. And for that opportunity to be present, and for me not to take advantage of that, you know, that's being disrespectful to everything that I stand for.
Alright, so I feel you. Last question.
So,
sum it all up in one quick note. Do you have any advice for up and coming artists trying to make a mark in the industry?
Find yourself first and foremost. Besides music, like, find out who you are as a man, as a person, you know. And if you're not somebody that's a tough guy, or if you feel you're not somebody that's a hustler, and you love to do something and it comes off weird or just not normal, don't worry about that, because the sore thumb sticks out. And if you display that in your music, you know, nothing's gonna stop you. So just stick to who you are. Stick to being yourself on record. The concepts you talk about, your voice, your style, the music you like to listen to, and just stick to that. It might not happen overnight, but as long as you have a track record of being consistent, then you're going to have an audience, and you're going to have a brand, because there's money out here for everybody to eat, regardless of what type of music you fall under.
Everyday peoples, hope you enjoyed that sincere conversation.
So sincere.
We out. Alright?
One.